What's up, YouTube? I know it's been a little while since I recorded, but I've had a very busy week, and I am here. I am here because I was asked to speak on a topic regarding my friend's relationship. I don't really like to talk about relationships unless I'm speaking on myself and past relationships because I don't like to give people advice. I normally will put myself in the situation before I answer their question, and I will tell them what I would do. But see, the thing about that is that I have to continuously remind them, like, we're two different people. A lot of my friends consider me to be a very strong-minded, strong-willed person. So a lot of the times that's why they turn to me for advice. And I'm okay with it because I'm okay with listening. Because sometimes everybody just needs a shoulder to lean on or somebody to talk to, an open ear, but you have to learn how to distinguish the difference between, letting it consume you and you just being a friend and a listening ear and able to give advice. You have to learn how to separate the two, because then you can still remain friends, and you can also gained a certain respect for somebody, because I feel like a real friend will keep it real. A real friend will keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? And people who take offense to that, they don't deserve that person as a friend. Because your friend is supposed to tell you first, not in an insulting way, you know? But if you really are truly inclined with that, intertwined with that person, and y'all are absolutely friends, genuinely, no doubt, you will learn to take constructive criticism, especially if you're a person who is so fast to give it out, to give out that criticism and tell people what they should and shouldn't be doing. But long story short, my friend asked me to speak on I guess her personal life, and pretty much what she was saying was she's been messing with this guy for about 6 months now, and she admitted in the beginning that it would only be a sexual thing. She knew that from the beginning. But she started to catch feelings. And I even said this in one of my other videos, like, that's exactly why I can't just have sex with anybody. Like, not even if you're just the only one that I'm having sex with, but we're just having sex. I can't do that, because if I'm having sex with you and somewhere down the line, I'm probably going to be looking forward to taking things to another step, another level, because that's what life is about, levels. And regardless of whether you want to believe it or not, but yeah, it's never too late to do something. It's never too late to do something, but there is a certain point in your life. It's called the peak of your life. You are supposed to mature at every level, and you're supposed to know where your life is going at a certain point. I feel like by the age of 30, I feel like you should have made the amount of mistakes that you're supposed to make. And I pray that by 30, you have learned the lessons that are meant to be learned by every situation that you have gone through. Because, I tell people all the time, obstacles, man, shit happens. Like, I have bad days. But I feel like those things that try to step in the way of your progress are things that are building your character. Because if you find a way, you get frustrated when they come about, because it's like, you run in a straight line and then boom, the obstacle fall in front of you. And if this obstacle has never been a part of the track that you've been running, you don't know how to hurdle it, because you didn't practice with this obstacle. It just came up, so you have to learn how to fight through it and learn the lesson from it. Just always remember that there's a lesson behind everything that we go through. There's a lesson. Like, it's something to build your life, take you to the next level. All you have to do is just recognize it when it happens and say, okay, it's something I'm supposed to learn from this, and take it and go. But I only open with that because this is going to take me into my story. And my question is, people say they want the truth, but do you really want the truth? Like, do you really want somebody to tell you the flat out truth? I mean, you don't have to be harsh. Tell you the truth. And are you willing to accept their truth, like what they want? That's the thing. And see, I'm going to show how both sides take those two things literally, but take it in such a different way. So, my homegirl hit me up and she was like, look, I've been dealing with this guy for months. And at first it was supposed to be a sexual thing, but I caught feelings for him. And I know that if I just show him the person that I can be, that pretty much she feels like she can change him into being somebody that she can be with and build a life with and stuff like that. So I really did have to point out to her that you have to take under consideration that you knew it was a sexual relationship in the beginning. So she wants me to say a whole bunch of good things about her, I guess, in the sake of showing the video and saying, look, I'm a good person. I'm just not going to do that because I feel like it shouldn't take me to say a lot of great things about you, which you're my friend. So I'm going to always say great things about you. I'm never going to say anything bad about you behind your back or anything like that, because you already know that I will come to you and I will say it myself. That way we can skip all of the middlemen. We can just handle this because we're both adults, you know. So she's been with him for some months and she just feels like now she has feelings for him and he should feel the same way. And my honest opinion is this guy does not feel, I don't even really think he's relationship material. And the thing about it is he tells the truth. He tells them the truth. They know that when they're getting with him, that it's just for sexual purposes only. So now all I can say is you both knew what was going down when it went down. And the only thing that advice that I can give to you is if he's not showing signs that he wants to be in a relationship, you're going to have to try to find some kind of way to get over that. You're going to you're going to have to try to find some kind of way to heal from that, because you cannot be having these feelings by yourself. And this is the shit that makes women crazy and do crazy shit, even when they know what it is from the beginning. So at a certain point, women have to start being truthful with themselves, because I feel like, in my life experiences, I may have had a few people. I'm not saying people don't come in a disguise. Okay, so I've had people in my life that look one way, and when you get to know them, you're like, damn, okay, so you wait until I get comfortable to show your true you. But see, it's in that instance, when they show the real them, you fucking believe it. You believe it. Because once you start to believe them in what you see, because they say action speaks louder than words. So if this person is showing you something, regardless of whether they're telling you, I love you, I want to be with you forever, I will walk through the fire with you, and they have one purpose, because they have a purpose, and the purpose is sex, and you knew this from the beginning, but now you're showing signs because you have this person's attention and you want to show them how much they really like you when you agreed to it in the beginning. So that question is, do you really accept the truth? Because if you accepted the truth, you would have been able to move on. You would not be hitting me up asking me to speak on this. Women, stop saying y'all want the truth when you really can't handle it. Like, I truly, truly, truly would love if a guy would tell me the truth, because at this point, guys, when you tell them the truth, this gives them the option of, do I want to do it or not? Because sometimes shit just sounds so fun to where you want to do it, but then you don't even really think about the consequences of the actions when it's all said and done. Because now you're doing all kind of crazy stuff that you shouldn't even be doing with somebody. And I'm not saying don't enjoy sex, but there's a few things that you should really hold back until you find the person that you're going to be with. I don't feel like you should just let guys do any and every thing to you for the sake of sex if they're not trying to build a relationship with you or be with you. Now, if you're in a relationship, ladies, I feel like it's a little bit different, because my philosophy on that, you don't want him to run out here to all of these women who willing to do all of these different positions and shit like that, and you don't want to do the shit at the house. Shit, my thing is, hold on, let's go to the gym. Shit, showing me all these different stuff in the Kama Sutra book, and I'm like, okay, shit, I'm flexible, but you ain't about to hurt me. I gotta go, you know. But all I'm saying is, these guys, I feel like they tell the truth in my experiences, in my relationships in life. I look back on my life now, and pretty much even if they came to me in a shell, by the middle of a relationship, even if it lasted 6 years, 6 months, 6 days, by the time the middle come, I know them for who they are. And I'm not the type of a person that looks for nothing, because I feel like if you continuously look for certain things that you've been hurt before, you looking for these qualities in them, and then you look for them so hard to where you start coming off on them like, oh, you trying to hurt me or whatever, just because you've been hurt, and you're hurting yourself, because then you drive a wedge by holding on to hurt. And this is one of the reasons why you shouldn't even be moving on to a relationship if you're not ready to be in one, and you know that you're not ready, but for the sake of having somebody there, fuck it, I'll just go get me somebody else and drive their ass crazy and make them want to cheat on me. It's going to be a reoccurring cycle, and you're going to feel like these men are doing it to you, but you're doing it to yourself, because you won't even take the time to heal from the past hurt, and not even taking the time to stop and realize that it's not the men that's hurting you. At some point in time, is you doing it to yourself. Listen, I feel like this, my mother worked 2 jobs when we were coming up, and what she didn't have the time to teach me growing up in life, some fucking woman has taught me. Even if it was them getting up in my face, or it was somebody that I encountered that I was hanging with, or anything like that, seeing shit in a different light, how they came up and stuff like that, has taught me lessons in life, and it's taught me to decide what I want to make of my life, versus what I didn't want of my, anything bad to make of my life, because you see where people came from, and you see the result. So I look at those as stepping stones, as learning tools, because I've always been taught something in my life. And yeah, I was a little bit cocky in my younger years. I told y'all, and I'm not ashamed of anything in my life. I would talk about me first, and I did. I was hot tempered. Like, I didn't go looking for shit, but I never backed down from shit, and I have a record because of it. Am I ashamed of it? No. Do I wish I could do things a little bit different? Yes. Yes. So, the truth, so women, my advice to you, my sweet friend, is you really need to just let that go. Let him go and be who he is, because he showed you who he was from the beginning, and you admitted to me that you knew, and now you're not willing to accept it. You always tell me all the time, you rather guys just be truthful, and I feel like he was as truthful as he could be. And that's why I tell you all the time, sis, me and you have these talks. Stop doing all of this strange shit for somebody that you just sleeping with. Lay the fuck down on your back. You get your nut, he get his nut. Y'all go y'all separate ways. Stop flipping up and holding on the fucking ceiling fans and shit for people who you don't even, you're exchanging all of this energy with, and it's wasted energy, because at this point you're exhausted trying to show this guy who you are, and you're not even meant to be with him. You have to sit down and realize that those feelings that you're having is something that you developed, not something that he gave you. Like nowadays, women want to hear shit. They want guys to show them shit. So if that's how they have to get the draws, they do it. And then there's a misconception of what this guy really wants. I get it. But we're grown. You should know the difference. And you should know that this relationship wasn't never going to be a relationship like that. And that's just my thing on it. So this is where I'm going to go with the truth for men. Men, like, I feel like when you're trying to talk to a woman, I feel like whatever your intentions are, you should stick with that. And I really feel like you should really tell the truth, because that will keep so many women from being crazy as fuck. Like, that would keep them from being crazy, because, like I was just saying to my friend, like, when you doing all these crazy positions, man, like, that drives them crazy. Like, that's where the thought of he got to be sleeping with somebody else. Like, when you throw it on them, they just thinking like that's just too much for one person. It ain't just me. That's when they start thinking all of this shit. And then on top of that, now you're out here being the person that you showed them that you were, that you told them that you were, but it's being misconstrued, because why are you doing all of these things to me if you don't want to be with me like that? And I'm telling you this from a woman's perspective. You know, I feel like for the most part, guys tell the truth. And if they don't say it verbally, they eventually show you when it's all time for that. Because that's what they're trying to do from the beginning, is keep the level of fucking frustration and crazy shit down. So, I feel like y'all don't tell 100% of the truth though. I mean, nobody really does, but I feel like if you're a little more truthful, in the end, when this woman finally sits down and realizes that, calm down, and she's gonna realize that, oh shit, like, he really told me the truth. And that's when they start their healing process. But it done been all kind of crazy shit going on, because the truth was misconstrued, because we're doing things with each other that we should not even be doing, especially if we're not planning on having a relationship. Like, there are some people out here whose mind is strong enough, guys and girls, whose mind is strong enough to just be like, oh, we just sleeping together. Like, I can't do that, because I believe in energy. And I believe in bad energy being passed off. And, you sleep with these people and then you realize that, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, there's such a thin line between the truth. But I just feel like the thin line is for women that they just don't accept it. And for men, they don't put it out there straightforward. Like sit a woman down before y'all have sex, like y'all giving each other the eye and stuff like that. But before y'all have sex, shit, take her out and get her something to eat. And let her know, like, like we just gonna do this, right? Make it clear, because I feel like that will save you so much headache. You were about to have the headache of her being upset that you didn't fuck with her, or that she couldn't accept the terms of your agreement. So therefore y'all never did nothing then to get into this relationship or situationship. I'm going to call that a situationship. Get into that and then have all kind of crazy shit going on because you was not clear enough. And I feel like that's where the thin line comes in at, because the more clear you are of what the intentions are, the more they can really think about the shit when the shit hit the fan. Like, okay, that was my fault. I got too caught up in it, you know? So the truth to me is like, if you come to me and a lot of times people hit me up in my inbox and they be like, you are beautiful, and I I thank you for the compliments. It's not that I'm stuck up or anything like that, but you have to realize that people come at me like that every single day. I'm not stuck up. I'm not none of that. I'm very confident though. My mother and my father created a beautiful thing. I feel that in my soul. That is how much I love myself. So I learned a long time ago that you do not let the mistakes that you make in life confine who you are, confine you to this, a box, define you, who you are as a person. Because everybody has made a mistake in some way, shape, or form in their life. What you do after you make that mistake is the question. Because, like I say, even if you've done something for karma to come back around, and when karma comes back around, it hits your ass hard. Even in the middle of that bad karma, you have the opportunity to change the karma and turn that shit into something positive. Like, I really want us to get back to the state of love. Like, I don't see in our communities anymore that people being married 40 years. Yeah, the people from the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s, those people are still married because they knew what it was, and they grew up in that mentality in a different era where the man really had to go out there and work and provide. And the wife didn't have a choice but to be home and take care of them kids and make sure them kids going to school, make sure the food get cooked, because they had large families back then. That's why I was happy, kind of happy, that I grew up with people raising me with those same morals. Not to say that a man have to take care of me, because I'm very capable of taking care of myself. But, if I do get a man that comes along that is a provider, that's a plus. That's a provider, because I'm not going to fucking be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to lighten the load. You just tell me what I need to do. And that's the type of respect that a king deserves. But guys, y'all out here, talking all of this talk, but y'all not walking the walk. Like, all of these memes, and even when people go live and stuff like that, all you hear is bitches and hoes and stuff like that. And I understand that the women today are a little different. For real, like, I really feel like they take a lot more than OG. than the OGs, because I'm at a certain point in my life where I'm trying to move on to a different level. When I was younger, I did what I was supposed to do. When I was 20, I did 20-year-old shit. And even when I was 20, I was still had a business mind, because I got my first taste of financial freedom at the age of 19. But I still did 20-year-old shit. I was still young. So I had to grow up. But I had children by the time I was 20, so I didn't have a choice because I had sons. And I could see all of the stuff that was going on around me, and I knew that I had to be the type of mother that could raise sons, because people always say boys need a man, and they do. They need a man, but me being the type of mother that I am, and my boys will tell you, it was no holds barred. Like, I kind of put it out there to them like how they would put it out there to them in the world, not sugarcoat the shit, because if I sugarcoat it at home and then they get out into the world and the world's like boom, they gonna be like, well, you didn't tell it to me like this. So I wasn't really that you got a PP type of mother. I wasn't that. I educated my children, especially my oldest two being closer together. And then my baby, they being 10 and 8 years older than him. I used to tell my youngest son walking around the park, and I'm like, you don't walk around this motherfucker by yourself. It's men out here who like little boys. Don't get snatched up and be tied up in somebody's damn house and we don't know where the hell you at. Like, I'm that type of mother, because that type of shit happens in the world. You know what I'm saying? And even if some shit, I can't really prevent it from happening, and that's locking them in the house. Can't really prevent it from happening. So I make them aware that, hey, this could happen. Don't never think that it couldn't happen to you. So, there's so much truth in the world. There's so much truth in the news and shit like that. We just don't pay attention to the things. The things that put right in front of our faces. And I can put that in the aspect of the news and what we have to look at today, and relationships. The shit is put right in front of our faces, but we want something so different than what we're pursuing at the time, that we try to turn what's only supposed to be pursued into what we want. And you can't do that, because then that's where all of the fighting and all of the broken car windows and all of this stuff that you realize later on wasn't even worth it, because both of you knew what it was. I really want us to blossom as a people. Just blossom, man. Like, there's so much stuff, other stuff that we can be doing in the world if we just learn how to uplift each other. And I spoke briefly in my last video about this project that I'm about to put together. But my reason for doing this video is just that. I wanted to speak about truth, because my truth is at some point in life, you have to realize who you are. You have to realize that everybody has a purpose here on this earth. Everybody has a purpose, and you have to, at some point in your life, realize what your purpose is, and you have to live up to that, outside of the matrix, outside of what picture they paint of the world. We all have to live up to our purpose, and I feel like I'm really like a revolutionary. And I say that with much confidence, because I am not afraid to speak my mind. I am not afraid to speak my mind. I don't care what it pertains to. I don't care if it's on the job. I don't care if it's at home. I don't care if it's at my son's school. I don't care if it's at the fucking police department. Like, right is right. Sorry, y'all. And wrong is wrong. And you know what? I'm glad that happened, because I'm gonna be set up in my in my little studio spot by Friday. I'm gonna make sure of that. But I do speak my mind, and I don't sit back and just watch people being done wrong. I don't like it, especially my people, because a lot of the times they don't even know their rights. They don't even know that they have rights. They don't even realize that, you know, so many times I watch people property and land and stuff get taken right from underneath them because they don't understand the stuff that they need to do to keep their shit. There's people out here that's living social security check to check, can't go and get a job because they're elderly and they really don't need to be working because they're not in a condition to be working. That's why they're getting the SSI check in the beginning. But they only have a certain amount of money to spend every month because the majority of their money have to go towards mortgage or rent. And if they don't have a mortgage or a rent, it has to go towards bills, light bill, water bill. And by the time you pay that high shit, you only left with $100 to $50 to last you until next month. So the purpose of my project is really to deal with the people like that. Not even just the elderly people. Like, y'all can say what y'all want to say. It's single mothers out here. Like I say, everybody has a past. Everybody has a story. But the point of it all is, regardless of how she became a single mother, she's a fucking single working mother. And me being a single working black hard working mother, my boys will tell you, if they want something and they're doing the right freaking thing in school and at home, I am going to go and pick up 17 shifts if I have to make sure that they get what they need. I know what it feels like to work your fucking fingers to the bone for people who do not give a fuck about you, just so that my children can be happy. We didn't have the world, we didn't have everything, but I made sure that they were happy. I taught them everything, even when I've had my business ventures, and they can tell you, I've had a lingerie store. I've had different business ventures, and they grew up right there in it with me. Even now to this day, they will tell you I speak to them just like how I speak to y'all. Get your own shit. But I tell them, y'all have the advantage over me because I had to go through a lot of red tape to get where I am today, to learn all of the stuff about business that I had to learn to have my own. So the advantage that y'all have is I can show y'all the steps, or I can show y'all the shortcut. Because if you get your shit now at the age of 20 and 22, my youngest baby is 13 years old. You get that now, by the time you're my age, man, they wouldn't be able to stop you. They wouldn't even know what to do with you. And I teach my kids that I'll help you. I'll do whatever I have to. I told my son, you want to start your own clothing line? Let's do it. Let's do that shit. Because this is the time when you're 20 years old to get through all of the kinks. You're 20 years old. Get through the kinks now. By the time you're 25, you should have something definite figured out. You know your generation. You know what they want. You know what they'll buy. You better get it popping. I'll never be the person to tell my kids, oh, you need to go on a job and you need to work hard and you need to work yourself up the ranks and you need to do this and you need to do that. No, because the reality of having a job is, even though they might want to move you up because there's so much shit that they need to do on this level, if they see you already doing 12 different jobs at a certain pay, why would they want to, why? Why would they want to move you up? They'll realize that you're a freaking asset to the company when you're gone. You know? So I always encourage people to get their own. Even if you do decide to work a job, get your own stuff. the program that I'm trying to start is going to be called Buy Back the Block. And I'm going to be in these neighborhoods, and my goal is to get 1,000 signatures on my petition. And basically what the petition is going to say is that we would not have such a high crime rate in the urban communities if we were to build it up. And you realize that there is a certain stereotype that they want us to fall under. And we do that because we're such hardworking people, because we have to work. And we have to fucking work hard to afford this rent, to afford light bill, water bill, and clothes for our children, shoes for our children. They want to play after school sports. I told my son when he was playing football, I was like, hey, if you make it to the pros, you already owe me $700,000, okay? But those are the sacrifices that we make as hardworking fucking parents, because we want our children to have a good life too. But we can't do that because majority of the influence in our communities are not negative, but they are being taught things on how to survive. And how to survive because the parents aren't really around. Why? Because they're working. And I want to start this program, Buy Back the Block, and I want to be able to go into houses where the elderly lay and live. If they own these houses, we can go in and fix the porch. We can go in and fix the leaky roof. And I'm asking for volunteers as I start out, because I feel like if we go in and we give them a better way of life, and we fix up our communities, and we start building our own recreation centers and funding them, and have our own after school program for our children where we can teach them, and have a big brother, big sister program to where there are really positive mentors in the neighborhoods that these children can look up to, and that they can have dreams other than fucking jail or death. So they don't have to live up to the stereotype and be forced to live up to the stereotype of the picture that they paint for them. This is nothing to do with me, because I'll take my own money and I will put my own money towards that. But in the beginning, I'm really just going to start this petition, and I need 1,000 signatures. Because if I get 1,000 signatures and I send it along with this letter, this will show them. And I'm not asking them for their money. I don't want their money. I don't want their money. I'm calling out all of my OGs. Like, we have to do something different. We have to build a better way of life for our children. We have to build a better way of life for our children, because they're growing up in a society where they're already not accepted. They have to make us learn how to make a stand for themselves and be heard. And the only way that they can be heard is if we take care of them and we teach them the way to be heard, and not be heard in a negative light, always in a positive light. Know who you are as a person, know your rights, and know how to fucking push them. Like, I exercise your rights as an American citizen. I read all of that crazy shit that black people weren't made to be citizens. We were never meant to be citizens. We were always supposed to be a people who was supposed to be in slavery and stuff like that. Okay, I get it. That was written then. But look at us now. We're free. I look back on my ancestors and the stuff that they had to go through. But there are certain chains and there are certain mental states that we have to break when it comes to our youth. We have to step in the gap, because sometimes, it can just be that the mothers are getting younger and younger every day. And the grandparents are getting younger and younger. And these are hardworking people. These are people who are still working hard and taking all kind of crap just to get a check. We have to learn how to support black business. Support black business. We have to learn how to come together. And I really feel like this Buy Back the Block project is what's going to bring our communities back together. You know, our elderly people are scared of our children because these children have nothing to do. So they get into mischief and they get into trouble, and they don't even really, they're really not even bad kids a lot of the times. They're just forced to grow up a certain kind of way. So it brings out the worst in them sometimes when they're such sweet kids. Like, I really want to give back to my community. I will be doing an online petition as well as a paper petition, and I really want to go to come back to Beaufort County and do my petition there, because that is where I grew up at. That is where my roots lie, and I live there, and I see the things that are going on, how they're taken away from the kids, and that these kids don't have anything to do. And you know, I mean, like, honestly, we have one recreation center, big ups to Burton Wells Recreation Center, but this place is not equipped to take all of these children that really need guidance and after school care, the parents that need help because they have to work long hours. And if they can have a facility to where their children can be and have parental supervision, so that we can reassure that these kids are not doing anything that's going to lead them down the wrong road. The road to jail, the road to prison, the road to fucking death. I really truly want to do this, and I hope that y'all see and feel how sincere I am being right now, because I feel like we need more OGs. The OGs need to stand up. It's not my son, it's not your daughter, but we can only teach them how to do right. We can only give them the wisdom and advice and hope that the things that we're telling them, that let them know that somebody believes in you. Find a way for the mother and the kids to come together and teach them what the kids like, because you have to learn that. You have to learn what's going on because technology evolves so fast. You got to find out what they're interested in, because you don't want these people on the internet and the things that these kids watch to be their only influence in life. So I'm asking y'all, please help me in my journey to getting my program started. If I get, my goal is 1,000 signatures, but I want to get 1,000 online signatures, and I want to get 1,000 by paper. And I'm going to come to Beaufort County with the petition in hopes that I can get a signature from everybody that believes in what I'm trying to do. And I do have a letter that I can send out to you, and that is going to be a disclaimer saying that you are signing the petition and that you are a willing participant in signing it, blah, blah, blah. If you are really interested, or I can put the link to the petition under this video, and that way you can go online and do it. But either way, you know, I'm still in my planning process. I have had this on the brain for a long time. I want to be able to have a community fun day. I want to do something like that, but I need it to be a fun day. We're going to have children out there, all these crazy beefs and stuff, man. Like, set that shit to the side. Our communities need us. Our children need us. So I'm not going to stay too much longer because I'm almost 45 minutes in. I didn't really want this to be that lengthy, but I had to close with saying this. Like, we have to buy back the block, man. We have to get our communities under control. We have to get our children under control. We have to exist in this world, and I want us to exist in the top 3%. Business owners, or even having a hustle, man. Get a hustle. Teach your children how to build a business and not work hard on a job. They're young, they're smart, they're watching technology evolve right in front of them. They're going to know things that we don't know. We're going to need our children to be educated on the things that is coming, the brand new things, because we're going to need them. So like I said, this is my YouTube video. I am going to be posting this on Facebook. So I want y'all to subscribe to my channel. Billion Dollar Club 843. Billion Dollar Club 843. Subscribe, like, comment, share. Share my videos. I have a few videos on there. I'm going to be making a few more in the upcoming, but I just really did this one because I just need us to understand what's going on between us and why we can't have 40-year marriages anymore. We have to learn how to respect each other because our children are watching us. They're not doing what the fuck you tell them to do. They're doing what they watch you do. Because they're like, how can you tell me to do this over here, but you're doing this over here? We have to be an example for our children. And we have to stand in a gap and be example for the children who don't have good examples in their life. Buy back the block. I do have a t-shirt press, though a lot of people know that. I am going to be putting out some buy back the block t-shirts. I will put them up as soon as I have them done, which will probably be Thursday or Friday. And I just want, if y'all have ideas on anything that you feel like will make the program that I'm trying to push forward better, hit me up, let me know, leave it in the comments, shoot me an inbox. Just I want us to come together as a community and get and build a bridge for our children. We have to make sure they make it to the other side. So I want to shout out Shawnette Booker. That's my friend. I love her to death. Shawnette Booker has Happy Healing Serenity. If you need spiritual healing, she does Reiki. She does tarot readings. She does crystals. Crystals that have saved my life and has built my energy up to the best level that I feel like it can be right now. I love her. HappyHealingSerenity.com. Visit her on there on Facebook at Black Queens of Spiritual Healing. That is her Facebook group page name. I want to give a big shout out to my friend Courtney Gray. You can shout him out and follow him on Facebook at Courtney Gray, at Courtney's Hands, at Facebook and Instagram at Pretty Boy Gang. Hashtag. He is an amazing stylist if you're ever in the Jacksonville area and you have natural hair or locks. I'm pretty sure he does a number of other things. Go to his page, check him out. He is amazing. He is genuinely my friend. I just met him when I started working at this restaurant that I work at. And I feel like me and him have been friends forever. Like, I tell you, I'm really big on energy. I'm really big on energy. And the energy that he gives off is so freaking genuine. And I love him to death. Big ups, Courtney Gray. I'll see you tomorrow. But speaking of Courtney, he is one of the people that I am inspired by. He has an awesome mind. Him and Shawnette, no disrespect to you, baby. But he has a very mature mind and he speaks his truth. And that's one of the things that I love about him. He is not afraid to be himself. And, you know, with my friend and everything, hitting me up and asking me to speak on that, and then me spewing all into the truth thing, because I feel like that's a big thing. Like, I feel like a lot of the times there is a lot of truth put forward and we tend to ignore it because we want something different than what we're pursuing at that time. So, just talking to him, I'm like, I need an inspiring word, man. Like, I value your opinion and I really just need a good word. And he inboxed me with his Twitter. So I'm going to end my video with this, and it says, you lose a lot of people, but you gain another day to breathe. Don't allow the past to destroy your future. I know how that feels personally. And I know that everybody that's listening to that can relate in some way, shape, or form. Because we do have the tendencies of letting the past control what our future looks like. And if we just realize that if we get rid of the past and let the past be the past, that our future will be bright. I love each and every one of y'all. Follow me, subscribe, share. I want y'all to consider what I said in this video because I'm going to be pushing this forward within the next 3 weeks. I'm trying to get my signature so that I can kind of push it into being a nonprofit more than it being an LLC, and that we can take 100% of any monies that are donated, any items that are donated, and put it into the community, and we can build each other up. Until the next time, I love y'all. I have to go. I have to go to work in the morning. Until the next time, y'all. Queen out.